Hello, everybody. It's Friday. I got the days right 2 days in a row. It's a pretty good run. I'm going to talk about a new type of me today. I'm going to lay out the bear case because somebody asked me a question yesterday. They said, how come you're always so happy and so positive? What's going on? Why can't you be sad for once? Well, let's dig into that. So, especially with the recent market downturn, everybody is disappointed, sad, frustrated. So last night I decided to explore the bear case of Bitcoin and share it with you all. And we'll show about, data supporting extreme pessimism and why this may be at an end. And let me know what you think of this approach as well. Let's go, bearish me. And thank you as well to Patreon and Patty. Patty Manders has been there for a long time. Hello, James, my Patreon members. You rock. And thank you as well. Every day you make a comment on YouTube. I appreciate that too. So let's jump in. This is it. The bear case for Bitcoin. Thank you to AI for creating these lovely charts. They're so cute and funny. Let's talk and let's break it down. I'm going to approach this video like I approach every video. A lot of quant, a lot of data, a lot of forward thinking. And let's go. First of all, the ultimate bear case for Bitcoin from Checkmatey, I should say. The ultimate bear case of Bitcoin is fiscal discipline by governments. Ooh, how likely is that? I'll let you decide. Also, fear and greed. We just fell down now to 27. We were at 30 yesterday, or 29 yesterday, 30 the day before. We're going down. What happens if fear and greed keeps on dropping? Thank you, Dirk Diggler. Thank you for coming. This is your 10th super on live stream, apparently. Google's notifying me. Fear. I always say when fear and greed is under 25, that's a signal to buy. And I proved it out in charts too. It's funny. Metcalfe's law. I am a big believer in Metcalfe's law, but let's look at this chart real quick. Thank you, Linda, for coming. I'm surprised anybody turned up to this bear video. This is... Anyway, as usual, I should be sad and depressed, but that's not in my character. Anyway, Metcalfe's law works. I believe in it. However, Bitcoin adoption continues to fall. We are seeing ever since, say, August 2023, we were having, 900,000 daily active addresses on Bitcoin. Now it's just about 400,000. So it's gone down a lot. Tim Paul, thank you for coming to. This is not good. For a network to have value, it needs lots of users. And that's one of the bad things about ETFs, is if the Bitcoin is just socked away, set it and forget it into a black box somewhere, it may mean less usage. And tied to that too is Bitcoin fees. Bitcoin fees continue to fall. We were running at like 80 million plus a day, and now it's more like 10, 20 million. No, sorry. Yeah, 80 million down to, let me blow this up so I can see everybody. Got to get these numbers right. Down to literally 500,000. That's a big drop off in fees. So we got to watch for the fees too. Again, I always talk about how for a chain to be viable, it does need to make some money. That's not good. And Blazo, thank you for coming too. Now we have this new thing. Okay, excuse the cheesy acronym 5G, but it'll help you remember things. That's how I remember things. I create little acronyms in my little brain so I can remember. Let's talk about my 5G. And this is incentivized by the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I call it the 5G horsemen of the apocalypse. Let's talk about these 5. First of all, we have Grayscale. We had Germany. We have Gox, Mount Gox. We have Genesis. And we have got the government, US government. They are all dumping, have dumped, continue dumping, threatening to dump. It's like, I call it a buzzsaw when you're going into something like heavy nonstop dilution or heavy dumpage or whatever. That's the buzzsaw. The question is, are there going to be another 5Gs coming that make it 10Gs? 10Gs, $10,000. It'd be nice. B-Man, thank you for coming. And everybody's so positive here. I thought everybody was like, oh no, I want to hear a happy story. No, this is not a happy story, but it's a realistic story. Let's go more. What happens if Mr., as one of the potential 6Gs of the apocalypse, the 6 horsemen of the apocalypse, what happens if Mr. 100 sells everything? By the way, they just bought another 102 Bitcoin. Yesterday, they bought 400. The day before, they bought 500. So they keep staying. It's like clockwork. I mean, I watch this guy every day, but his DCA has gotten really good. At the beginning, they were just buying willy-nilly. Now they sell at 70K and they buy back at 58.5, 60K. Smart. A lot of the stacking is at 58,500. So anyway, that's just that. Let's talk about some charts as well. We had the all-time high. We hit level 6 on the ATR. We hit the same levels that correspond back to 2021, November 2021, and we have not been able to get back. Now, of course, we had the halving. We hit the new all-time high before the halving, which is historic. Maybe we never get back again. Maybe it is a left-shifted cycle where all the fun is happening. Now, there is another line in this chart I do want to point out. That is the top and bottom indicator. We had a brief glimpse of orange, only for a second. We've had no dark orange and we've had no red. And we only had a little glimpse of orange for a little while. We're back to yellow. That's stacking time. So that tells me, no, we are not done. But some would argue maybe we're not going to hit the all-time high again. Now, I don't know how many cases. I think I've got 28 cases as to why the bear could be here forever. We may have hit the new all-time highs. Let's go back to some more. This one, we talk about a lot. Whale manipulation. Could they keep a lid on Bitcoin price forever? This little beautiful graphic here of the whales just controlling the whole market. There's nothing you can do about it. Joe the Fun, thank you. Maybe between market makers and whales, they play funny games and they keep us retail frustrated. But that's exactly what markets are designed to do. They're designed to wreck your head. So you capitulate and you give up. Don't give up. Never give up. Also, this is going to be a deep one because this is a graphic from Cal Exit the Matrix he shared today. And it really hit me hard. Okay, so I tried to interpret it. Now, first of all, let me walk through this. It's going to take a minute or two. But this is the kind of 2013 memes. We had P2P cash. So Bitcoin was originally seen as peer-to-peer digital cash system that would revolutionize finance and financial transactions. Then we had Silk Road. It gained notoriety for its use on Silk Road dark web marketplace, representing a rebellious anti-establishment stance. And then we had the FK, the GOVT. Many early adopters were attracted to Bitcoin because of its potential to disrupt government-controlled monetary systems, embodying strong anti-government sentiment. And then be your own bank. 2023. You could be your own bank. You could control your own money without relying on traditional financial institutions, rails, etc. But how has it changed? Let's go fast forward 10 years. 10 years later, 2024. HODL only reflects the hold on for dear life mentality, where Bitcoins now focus more on holding onto Bitcoin instead of using it as a currency. All right. Then we have Lightning, a shift towards using the Lightning Network, a layer 2 solution to speed up transaction and reduce fees, showing a focus on scalability, but that hasn't really come off, I'm afraid. Then we have the simp for government. I had to Google what the word simp meant. I did not honestly know. This is a satirical take suggesting that Bitcoiners who once wanted to disrupt governments now are more compliant and even more supportive of government regulations, central bank digital currencies, etc., for mainstream adoption. And then you got the number go up, a focus on Bitcoin's price, which many Bitcoiners now primarily concerned with its value increasing rather than the original ideas of decentralization and freedom. These are all alarming. The shift in focus, the compliance with governments, the belief in what governments say, the bubbles, number go up, long-term viability. It has changed. The world has changed. People have changed. This is more alarming than the meme suggests. So again, and I see especially the number go up thing, it's like we've gone from 15.5 to 73,800 and people want more. That's already a big move. Even at just shy of 60K right now, that's a 4x from the bottom. Pretty impressive in 18 months or a little bit more. Anyway, that was a deep one. I hope I didn't upset anybody. And I learned a new word, simp. Anyway, now let's talk about this one. I did share this yesterday. I thought it was very appropriate for this video. we could revert. This is from ARK Invest. We could revert to the on-chain mean. The on-chain mean currently is around 46 to 48K. And we could stay there forever. That would not be good. That would definitely signal the Bitcoin bull run is over. Not good. Also, another big threat, and we saw this already. I had a theory way back in January, February. I thought, holy crap, what's going on? Long-term holders are selling their bags that haven't moved in years, like 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, and they're getting out before the halving. I said, what's going on here? My only theory was they were moving towards the ETFs for safety, so they could leave their Bitcoin in a secure environment to loved ones, etc., rather than being on a cold storage wallet somewhere. When I came up with the theory, I had hundreds of people write to me and say, yes, that's exactly what I did. So maybe there is some of that. But what happens if the long-term holders start dumping? Right now, you can see the greater than 6 month holders is only 45.6%. A lot of this has to do with the ETFs. A lot of people moved long-term bags to the ETFs. We had GOX long-term bags move. We had some US government stuff move. That has shaken up the on-chain information. But what happens, and we had, of course, long-term holders taking lifestyle chips when we hit 70,000 plus. It's like, okay, I didn't catch the top back in 2021, but boy, am I going to do it now. Take it off the table, buy the house, buy the boat, buy the vacation home, buy the car, whatever, pay for kids' education. I don't know. There was definitely a lot of that happening, and that has shaken up the on-chain data, all of that stuff, as well as the 5Gs too. Remember the 5G network, the 5Gs of the 5 Horsemen apocalypse, horses or whatever. Anyway, also, we do have that very strong resistance. Every time we get up to 70 plus, we get kicked back. Could this mean we could never get above all-time high again? I don't know. Could it mean that the market makers are playing a game in us and keep a lid on it forever? I don't know. All these things are possible. All these things we need to consider as well. Then, more. What happens if the ETFs stop buying? Right now, you can see the ETFs have continued to pump money into the space up until around the middle of July. And that's trailed off. We are in the summer doldrums, but what if they stop? Because the reason we got from 15.5 all the way up to 73,800, I believe, is because of the ETFs. Huge amount of money flow, huge amount of anticipation, and that drove up a lot of prices. Now, what happens as well if the pension funds that just bought, like Wisconsin, if they stop buying and reverse out of their position? This is from Sina. Shout out to Sanjay as well for sharing. It is widely reported that the state of Wisconsin Investment Board has increased its allocation to BlackRock. True. But they sold all their GBTC as well. They got out of the GBT position, which is pretty high, as you can see here in the chart. So overall, now they hold less Bitcoin than they did in Q1. However, they've been very methodical about the approach, and they're moving to what they believe to be BlackRock being the safer play. So Wisconsin, yes, they continue to add to BlackRock, but the dump out of GBTC, which they got into in Q1, is high, and that explains a lot of the continuous bleed out of that skunk. I hope one day it'll be fleshed and gone forever. And by the way, the mini GBT stuff has not helped at all. Anyway, as expected. Now, what happens if everybody decides to hold melting ice cubes? Fiat cash. I always call it melting ice cubes. Shout out to Exahashes who put this graphic together for me. I love it. This is Warren Buffett right now with his insane cash position. What happens if everybody wants to move to melting ice cubes and not Bitcoin? They say, you know what? If it's good enough for Warren, it's good enough for me. Screw this Bitcoin stuff. I'm going to hold these melting puppies as debt goes to 35.1 trillion. And it's happening all over the world too. I just share US numbers, but your fiat is going the exact same way the dollar is, and in most cases, faster. Be aware of that too. Now, this is something that I put together in a slide on the 4th of July. I called it Financial Independence Day video. And I said, what happens if everybody pivots to AI, AGI bots? They follow that narrative. that is also a possibility. And maybe, well, in my little prescient little video, which triggered a lot of people, a lot of Bitcoin maxis got very upset with this. I said, pair trade of the decade, and I shared some funny pictures with that too that somebody made of me as well, with pears, the fruit, not pear fruit. But 5 weeks ago, I shared a slide in the Sunday Q&A on the 4th of July saying that by 2030 or 2032, give or take a year or two, Tesla could 27x and Bitcoin could 9.3x. 5 weeks later, the change has been quite radical. Right now, this is stunning, Bitcoin went from 66.7 to 57.6, and Tesla went from 177 to 220. If you switched from Bitcoin to Tesla 5 weeks ago, you would have made 38.3% profit instead of holding just Bitcoin. That's the power of the pair trade. And people thought I was crazy. There's no way Tesla can outperform Bitcoin. We shall see. And the internet doesn't lie. This video will be here from 4th of July, 2024. It'll be here in 2032 and 2030. So come back and watch and see how good my numbers are. Because I'm not the hopium boy. I'm actually very conservative. And I spend an insane amount of time modeling stuff. Sick. I actually love doing it. It's not like it's a chore for me. It's actually my passion. So, Nerdville, welcome to town. Now, what else could we got? Okay, this could bring us down hard. This would be technological or security failures or breaches. So security breaches, despite the robust security, any hack, double spend, or failure in infrastructure related to Bitcoin, like exchanges, wallets, or even the network itself, could undermine trust in the cryptocurrency. I always talk about this 1% chance of something going wrong. We have scalability and usability and utility issues. If Bitcoin fails to keep up with technological advancements, or if alternatives like other cryptocurrencies or blockchain technologies offer better utility, scalability, product market fit, user experience, whatever, security, Bitcoin's value proposition might weaken, leading to a shift in investor preferences. A 51% attack or network failure that we've spoken about many, many times, that could severely impact Bitcoin's perceived security. And then, of course, we have lack of quantum proofing. Some people think quantum computing power could be just around the corner to hack the Bitcoin network or hack old wallets like Satoshi's 1.04 million Bitcoin, things like that. We don't know. I think we have until 2028 before we get to that level where systems can actually hack Bitcoin. But in the meantime, I do believe it'll be quantum proofed, but this is still a risk out there. And now, there's another risk, and this is from Vivek. And Vivek thinks that Bitcoin will tank if KH is elected. Clearly, some of the people in that person's organization are still very anti-crypto. They are not going to change. They want UBI and they want central bank digital currencies and this stuff, and Bitcoin is a threat to that. So who knows? This is Vivek. This is not my opinion, everybody. But Vivek is also very prescient in the space. And there's a reason Bitcoin maxis do not like other things other than Bitcoin. It's because they suck the oxygen out of the room. What happens, and this is a long shot, of course, what happens if the meme coins take over and they take over Wall Street? Again, they suck in all the oxygen and liquidity and everything out there. This is from Milk Road as well. Some people believe it's a real threat, and we saw what meme coins did earlier this year. It's insane. Now, let's get to the conclusion. There was just a little dabbling of 28 risks that I see. Maybe more, maybe 32, I don't know. Let me know what you think. Now, my conclusion, all right, I still remain bullish on Bitcoin, all right? My stance to be optimistic, I went through some rough stuff as a kid, but in my life, after a hard childhood, and I never knew why. But this man helped me realize why I am optimistic. Elon Musk said, I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. When you have a positive outlook on the world, you are more likely to succeed. If you are negative on everything and toxic on everything, that will reflect your future. Okay? So be optimistic if you can. Think positive. Be hopeful for the future. Because if you're pessimistic, is not good. And yes, don't worry, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. This is from Aurelian Ohion. You can see here where we are in previous cycles, 2011 to 2013, 2014 to 2017, 2018 to 2021, and 2022 to 2025. We are here, okay? Chopsolidation is what's happening. This thing is going to kick off in the next few months up to Christmas. We don't know exactly when. It's always darkest before the dawn. Remember, Bitcoin is supposed to wreck your head. Don't let it. Stay strong. Stay positive. Stay optimistic. Hope you like the show. Let me know if you want more bearish content. Thank you so Team D Tesla and Sean Donnelly and K8 and all the lovely people in the chat and everybody who is here. I'm surprised. 6,000 people turned up to a bear case. Love it. Bye, everybody.